here. I'm back for a lesson. It's been a while. Sorry about that, but you know, things going on, life in general. But I'm excited to kind of bring you a lesson, and I hope you enjoy it. On Monday, I thought, right, I'm going to get a lesson up by the end of the week if it kills me. And I thought, what am I going to do? So I thought, I'm going to get the Strat, down tune it a semitone, do some Stevie Vaughan. And so I thought, what shall I do? Do something that, you know, people kind of want to learn because it's kind of really popular and they might play a lot. The Sky is Crying. Stevie Vaughan did a real super killer version of this, and you know, it kind of made sense to kind of go for this one. So I hope you enjoy it anyway. So I'm not going to talk too much at the beginning here, but I will kind of say I'm just using, this is a Fender original 60s Strat. I'm a big fan of these. I only got this kind of maybe a year or so ago, and I really enjoy playing it. As somebody who's I used to own a 1963 Strat, and if anything, this is just much more reliable and much better to use. And obviously it's got a kind of flatter radius as well, so it doesn't kind of choke out with the bends. String wise, I'm actually using 9s even though I'm down tuning, because the string bending on this tune is so intense. It will really play havoc with your fingers to the point where you really just can't hit the notes. At first, at the beginning of the week, I was using 10s down tuned, and my fingers were just kind of just saying, whoa, this is not this is not good for you. And I literally wasn't reaching the notes because some of the bends that you have to do in this piece are really super killer. So it made sense. In the same way that you change the key, you wouldn't try and sing a song in the same key as a female singer, or sing a song like, say, a Beatles song. You know, Paul McCartney's got quite a high register, so you can get right up there. Why try and sing in that key if you can't reach the notes? You would just change the key. And it's a bit like that with string gauges. That's the way I look at it. And I don't think it affects the tone that much. I used to use 13 to 56, and I've used lots of gauges over the years, and I don't worry about it so much anymore. The most important thing for me is reaching the note and being comfortable and knowing that I'm not doing damage to my hands so I can't play in 20 years time. It would have been really interesting to see what gauge Stevie Ray Vaughan would have been using today, because I know he was working down the gauges. But I think it takes its toll on your hands. I mean, I'm in my kind of mid to late 40s now, so I'm kind of really kind of feeling it on the hands, especially when it's cold here in Ireland. So why do extra damage? So that's my opinion on the strings. I'm using 9s and I'm down tuning, and it's fine. The only thing I would say is you do lack a little bit of sustain when you kind of do if you try to like do the slap with your finger on a note, it kind of dies a little bit faster than it would if I was using a heavier string and a higher action. So but it's not something that I kind of worry about too much. Gear wise, I've got this guitar. I'm going through a PV Mini Colossal 5-watt amp. Again, it's kind of cool little amp. And then I'm using a Hot Rod Plexi by Tech 21. So just a Plexi pedal there, and I really like that Plexi pedal. And then that's it, nothing else. A tuner pedal. So I hope you enjoy this. Let's have a look at the playthrough, will we? So again, like normal, I give myself 3 takes and then I just pick the best take. So, a track like this with so many notes in it, can you play it 100%? I'd have to do like 2 days worth of takes or something to get it. So I did 3 takes and picked the best one. I hope you enjoy it anyway. Here's the performance, and then we'll do a lesson after. So there it is. That's the kind of playthrough, and yeah, it's a really good fun one to play. There's so many cool licks and ideas in it. It's a great study if you're a student of the blues. So I'm going to go through just the solo really, because I think with YouTube you can slow it down. It's pretty clear what I'm doing, but in the solo, that's where you might find that it's a little bit kind of vague and things might need a little bit of explaining. So here we go. So we start with this kind of now he's trying to find it. I've got my notes here. So we got, so the lead into it, just before the first bar of the solo, he goes, so that is the first problem point, because you have to bend up a whole tone from 11 up to 13. Now you can obviously use your third finger, so you could go but to get that real kind of Albert Kingy kind of sound, see if you can do it with your first finger. But again, there's the argument for using slightly lighter string. So not the most comfortable thing to ever do on the guitar. But anyway, no pain, no gain. Here we go, next lick. And then there's a lot of this stuff where he's going to the 12, so he's going. So you can see I'm doing a bend there where I'm going from 12 up a tone and then pushing it as far as I can. So it's almost like two bends within one, from the 12 and then I always loved that lick, so simple. And then you've got this. And then you've got this kind of little line. And now we're getting into the juicy stuff. So I'll do that slow. So the trick there is to do the slide back with the first finger. So there's a kind of like. That's tricky. We didn't pick an easy one, did we? So then we've got. So then you've got these kind of like train wreck things, I think they call them, don't they? But so you've gone. That's the last lick of the first solo. So there's two choruses of a solo. Now we're into the second chorus of the solo, and we're going to do this kind of train wreck thing. So we're in the bend, the 14, and I bend it down slightly, and then you're going to go a bend on your 11 to 8, and then a full bend on 11. So woo, that's tough on the fingers as well. And then you got more. So you're doing it on 13, and I'm doing upstrokes to kind of like catch extra strings. And then 12, 12 again. And then he's so loud in the studio, that note will just kind of like hang there beautifully. At kind of like house level, that note kind of, dies pretty quickly, unfortunately. But you know, when you're on a gig, you know that'll be fine when you'll be able to crank it. And then you've got this kind of interesting thing where you're bending. I use my second finger on this, so I go. And this is the thing where it's like an interesting thing to remember. It's like having two bends in one. So you go. And then. So that first bend at the 11, you're going. And then the other ones are just straightforward. So then we're into this really, you know, this is super cool, isn't it? I'll do that again. And then we've got this. So this is kind of like a rolling lick that Stevie's famous for. So so you just got to try and get this kind of liquid, snaky vibe about that. And then you got. It gets particularly hard round about now because you've got this. So I'm going to play those last 4 bars again. So you've got this 11 bend. So have fun with that. This music is not easy to communicate. You kind of just got to get your hands dirty. You've got to be really referencing the record as much as you can and having fun. You know, if you can't reach all of the things, just take one lick out of the tune and come back to it later on. So I'd recommend maybe tackling a lick like this, you know. I think that's a kind of a really cool lick. That's in the first chorus of the solo, you know, and then maybe coming back for that rolling lick. You know, and if you've got those two down, you've got some really cool Stevie Ray Vaughanisms to work into your playing. But just going through that over the last 6 to 10 minutes or whatever, my fingers are going screaming. And these are 10s tuned, 9s tuned down a semitone. So anyway, have fun with that. Keep it burning. It's good to be back. And please comment and say hello, subscribe and all of that kind of stuff. So keep it happening. I'll speak to you soon.